Hello, everybody. So let's talk about Ghori dynasty today. So let me tell you that Ghori dynasty is actually considered to have been started from 1170 and is considered to have ended in 1206, but that's not the case because Ghori dynasty actually was founded by Abu Ali Muhammad, a person named Abu Ali Muhammad in 1011. So he was the actual founder. So it wasn't very big and it wasn't an independent state. He was kind of an semi-independent the person Abu Ali Muhammad usually uh, controlled the only principality of the war. So he wasn't independent and he had a lot of treaties and pacts. That's why we do not consider that around 150 years uh, between 1170 and 1011 as the true period of Ghori dynasty. So actually what is why we consider the uh, time domain of 1170 to 1206 as the actual period of Ghori dynasty is because that's the golden period of Ghori dynasty. So which again is not true because Ghori dynasty actually remained up to 1215, but up to 1206 we consider it as the end of Ghori dynasty because that's our concern about Ghori dynasty in India. So in India it ended in 1206. So let's go back a little bit about what happened after 1030 with the death of with the demise and death of Mahmud of Ghazni. So what happened was that he had two sons and he divided his kingdom in equally between his two sons, Muhammad and Masood. But what happened was that Masood and Muhammad kept fighting with each other to take the throne at Ghazni. That was the throne was in the hands of Muhammad, but Masood wanted to take the throne from Muhammad in Ghazni. So they both kept fighting with each other. So what happened was the Ghazniyid dynasty was torn apart. It lost a lot of kingdom, a lot of area, and that was the time. It is said that within a year, within a time domain of 10 to 15 years, nine sultans changed. Nine sultans changed within a time period of 15 years. So then it became a little stable when a person named Ibrahim came in 1059. He remained the ruler or sultan up till 1099. He ruled with peace. He struck a lot of treaties and pacts with the neighboring kingdoms. So his kingdom wasn't very big, but it was a peaceful time. He wasn't smart enough, but he had he wasn't smart enough to expand his territory or fight or sustain his power, but he had constructed a number of pacts and ruled on a very little part of land. So then again the quarrels started within civil wars started, and the kings kept fighting with each other until the time came 1040 when Behram Shah named a person with the name of Behram Shah came into power. So sorry. So that is the time when Ghori dynasty was surging or becoming very powerful. So there was a person called Saifuddin Suri. His brother had taken refuge in Ghazni. Behram Shah had given refuge to the brother of Saifuddin Suri in Ghazni. What happened was that the brother of Saifuddin Suri was poisoned by Behram Shah over a conflict or whatever it was, but he was poisoned. So to take revenge from Behram Shah, Saifuddin Suri marched toward Ghazni in 1051 and he took over Ghazni. But Behram Shah retaliated and took over Ghazni back in 1053. He took back Ghazni from Saifuddin Suri. So he captured him and killed him eventually. So there was another brother of Saifuddin Suri called Bahauddin. So he marched towards Ghazni to take revenge of the death of his brother, but he died before he could reach the Ghazni. So another brother of Saifuddin Suri was Alauddin Hussain. So where it is, Alauddin Hussain. He marched to take revenge of the death of two of his brothers. So he went to Ghazni in 1161. No, sorry, 1161. He was around 1054. Around was a time period when Alauddin Hussain plundered Ghazni, and he it is believed that it is written that he burned Ghazni for 7 days. That is the reason that Alauddin Hussain is called as Jahansoz, the burner of the world. He's named as Jahansoz. Okay, so he ruled. He kept Ghazni under his command, and but in 1161, Alauddin died. He nominated his son. His son also died after 2 years. So that is the time when Ghiyasuddin Muhammad Ghori came into the picture. So actually, Alauddin used to rule from a different city called Firoza, Firozak or Firoza sometimes. So Ghor was not the city from where he used to rule. So Ghiyasuddin Muhammad Ghori was the person who ruled from Ghor, and he was the cousin of the son of Alauddin. So he came into power, and uh, the son of Alauddin was Saifuddin II. So Ghiyasuddin Muhammad Ghori was the cousin of Saifuddin II. So he ruled, and he kept fighting for 7 years, in which another Ghori ruler, Abu Abbas, was killed by the brother of Ghiyasuddin named Muizuddin, or sometimes called Shahabuddin Ghori. So he was killed. So 7 years were kept. He kept fighting 7 years among themselves. So after 7 years, he finally established the Ghori dynasty, or the dynasty in Ghor. So these are the conquest he had. So in 1175, he attacked Multan and Uch and captured these areas. So he was the first ruler who attacked India after 150 years after Mahmud. He was the second one who attacked India. So there is a difference of 150 years between two attacks. Mahmud attacked India, and then after 150 years, Ghiyasuddin Ghori attacked, or his brother Shahabuddin Ghori attacked India after 150 years. So 1175, Multan and Uch. In 1178, war of Anil happened, and Morraj defeated Ghiyasuddin. So almost most of the wars or battles Ghiyasuddin fought uh, were lost by him. So in 1186, he attacked on Lahore, and eventually Ghazni dynasty came to an end, because Ghazni was not under their command, but they were ruling from Lahore. So when Lahore was captured by Ghori, so that was the end of Ghazni dynasty in 1186, eventually and officially. So he captured Lahore, came under the Ghori dynasty, under the rule of the Ghori dynasty, and in 1191 he attacked uh, Prithviraj Chauhan. So Prithvi Raj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan is considered as the mightiest Hindu king of Delhi. So Battle of Taran happened. Ghori was defeated badly in 1192. He again came, and Battle of Taran happened, and again it was Prithviraj Chauhan, but he was defeated this time. Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated this time in second Battle of Taran. So this MCQ comes sometime. So in which battle Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated? In the second Battle of Taran, Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated in 1192. So after that, in 1194, the Battle of Chandavar happened. It was the city of Kanauj, and the ruler was Raja Jay Chand or Chand Rathod. he was Raja Jaychand Rathod, who was defeated in 1194 in Battle of Kannauj. Then, in after 1195 to 1202, foreign conquest started. So what happened was that Ganga, Jamna, Doab was captured, Bihar was captured, Bengal was captured, Gujarat was captured, and who captured them was Qutbuddin Aibak, captured the area of Delhi and Gujarat, and Gwalior and Mewar type, and Bakhtiar Khilji in 1197 actually he captured Bihar and Yamuna Ganga Doab and Bengal. So he was the person who eradicated Buddhism from Bengal. He was the person in 1197. So other people were Tajuddin Yildiz and Nasruddin Kabacha. They came into picture afterwards. So in 1202, Ghiyasuddin Ghori died. So his brother took over, and his brother came to see his principalities in Delhi. The governor was Qutbuddin Aibak. So when in 1205, revolt by Khokhars occurred. So the revolt was quenched, but the Khokhars attacked and killed Shahabuddin Ghori in 1206 when he was returning in near Jhelum, that is today in Pakistan. So Shahabuddin Ghori was killed, and according to his wish, he is buried at the point where he was killed. In 1205 that happened. Okay, and then these were the people who declared themselves Sultan and declared independence from the Ghori dynasty. So this Qutbuddin Aibak was the person who fought with these Bakhtiar Khilji and Tajuddin Yildiz and Nasruddin Qabacha. Tajuddin Yildiz was in Persian region. He was mostly ruling from Ghor. So he was the person who had Ghor, he had Delhi, he had Bengal, and Nasruddin Qabacha had Multan. So Qutbuddin Aibak then fought with these people and eventually won, or struck some treaties. So that is obviously actual end of Ghori dynasty happened in 1215, but in India Ghori dynasty ended in 1206. So that's the Ghori dynasty so far. So next lecture we will be discussing Qutbuddin Aibak and his rule in India.